Hi, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from theorganizedartistcompany.com, and welcome to this edition of Sam Unscripted, even more improvised than usual since I went to log in and figured out that, in fact, the team and I hadn't discussed continuing these calls into February, so there weren't any Zoom links set up for February. So I super quick sent out the link to this. Zoom has sort of an instant meeting link, and so I just hit that and sent that out to everybody, and then realized that, of course, that instant link doesn't have the opportunity, doesn't give you the option of broadcasting to Facebook Live. So we're like, 4 layers into mistakes, and that's just what it is. So I'm excited for those of you who are here, for those of you who are watching the recording. We're going to just see what happens. As usual, we're just going to see what happens. So, yes, so forgive me my technical errors. We've had a bunch actually in the last couple of days. I don't know if it's I don't know what's causing it. Sometimes we get a little rash of these administrative errors, and it's troubling to me because, of course, the name of the business is the Organized Artist Company. So this isn't great for our branding. But on the other hand, mistakes happen all the time, and we just keep moving. So the other thing I asked for was if anybody had anything they wanted me to pray for specifically, and and I got one. And now I'm thinking maybe I should hop over to the Facebook pages and just see if anybody's having trouble getting on and tell them they should come to this Zoom link. Let's see if I'm just seeing any. Weird comments. No, that seems okay. Okay. Looks like we're all right. Okay, good. So we'll just keep going with this. So the prayer that got requested was from Dolores, and she says, "A prayer for courage and hope and knowing. Please pray for those of us who are working mindless jobs, sheerly for the paycheck, who want to break free and have no idea what to do with themselves when the chains come off." I'm going to read that again. A prayer for courage and hope and knowing. Please pray for those of us who are working mindless jobs, sheerly for the paycheck, who want to break free and have no idea what to do with themselves when the chains have come off. Okay. I remember that feeling when I was working mindless jobs just for the paycheck, and not a very big paycheck at that. So let's gather ourselves. And if you have something you'd like me to pray for, go ahead and you can type it into the chat, and I'd be happy to pray for it when we pray out at the end. Okay, you ready? We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8, and we're going to do that 3 times. And then I'll start praying. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mother, Father, Creator, God, we come to you in this moment in time, this exclusive, only once-in-a-lifetime moment that is now. We open ourselves to the knowing that is present, to the energy that is here, to the light that is shining on our faces. We feel our bodies as they carry our soul around. We feel our eyes as they drink in this world. We feel our thirst to drink in more of this world, to see people, to be seen, to be known. We feel our hands eager to do your work. And for those whose hearts are unfulfilled, for those who are spending their days doing work that they know is not part of their heart's desire, is not part of their life calling, is not part of their dream for themselves, the dream for the earth, their dream for the impact they can make in the world, we ask a special blessing. We call these people into the center and we lift them up. And we say, I see you, and I see your dream. And I see your frustration, and I see your diminishment, and I see your low energy, and I see your suffering, and I see you're spending your hours and your minutes and your days on doing things just for money, and I know how much that hurts you inside. And I applaud your bravery. Showing up when you don't want to show up. Doing your best when you don't want to do your best, when it seems like no one even notices if you do your best. And you are not too special to have a day job. You don't want out of this job because you think you are better than anyone else. You know that you are the same as everyone else. Everyone has unique talents and skills. Some people's talents and skills lie in their interpersonal relationships. But some people's lie in the work they want to share with the world. And to have a desire to share your work with the world and feel like you are being encircled by a brick wall and a world that says, work for the money. You can't make money as a writer. You can't make money as an artist. You can't make money as a teacher, as a healer. I ask that we let the cacophony of those voices fade away and hear instead the trumpet call of truth. The world needs your work. The world needs our work. And whether you do it before work or after work or doing work, during work, or on the weekends, or late at night, or early in the morning, you must show up as the embodiment of your creative work. Even in the most menial of hourly jobs, there are opportunities for you to let your creativity shine through, to let your warmth and your humanity dominate, to let your light shine in the world in a way that feels so good to you and to everyone else. The more you look for opportunities for your creativity to come up through the cracks of the sidewalk, the more opportunities there will be for your creativity to come up through the cracks in the sidewalk. And the more time you spend on your creative projects, even when you're tired, even when you're not sure why you're doing it, the more opportunities there will be for you to share your creative work with the world. I know this to be true. You would not have the desire on your heart if it were not possible for you to do right now, as you are right now. You don't need a certification. You don't need an invitation. You don't need to be paid. You don't need to be any better or different than you are. Today is your day. Now is your day. Now is your moment. Because you know that your creative work feeds you energy. It does not deplete you as other work does. It enlivens you. So as you embody your creative spirit, as you give a body to your creative spirit, as you are the hands and feet of your creative spirit, or as you are the hands and feet of God, we ask that the opportunities be shown, that the encouragement be given, that the money appear, and that the heart be at rest, satisfied by a job well done. Amen. So hi. How's everybody? If you want to type into the chat, you're welcome to. Let me see if I've gotten any emails. We were so messed up technologically this morning that I'll be surprised if we don't have a bunch of emails from people saying what's happening. Yeah. Okay, let me just reply to a few of these emails saying, try this. Here we go. Good. So embarrassing. Okay. Good, and let me look on the Facebook page as well. La, la. So how's everybody doing? Do you have any thoughts, anything special you want to say or share or know about? Good. So, yeah, so this thing about mistakes, since that seems to be our theme this morning, you know, we're so hard on ourselves about mistakes. And I think we so often stop ourselves from doing things because we're afraid of making a mistake. We're afraid of making a mistake publicly. We're afraid of looking foolish or incompetent. And that's a legitimate fear. That's not, you're not wrong to be afraid of that. However, I think it's a much larger fear before you do anything. And the more you do things, the less afraid you get. And the more you do things, the more you realize that the real art is in surfing the mistakes. You know, a band doesn't get up to play a gig expecting that they're going to play every note of every song perfectly, right? An actor doesn't get up to do the show to assume that every line and every gesture is going to be as exactly as rehearsed. You know, you get up knowing that you are going to live through this performance. You are going to live through the creation of this piece. You are going to be in the moment and surf the moment of the moment. And often the mistakes are where things crack open. The mistakes are where the opportunities are. The mistakes are where you have a chance to show people who you really are, where you have a chance to show people that you mess up too, and where you have a chance to look and say, well, why did I mess up? Why am I not being as careful? What did I fail to communicate? Where is there a broken system? Like I realized, you know, we started these as an experiment in January, and we did not put a review moment, the team and I did not put a review moment to say, oh, at the end of January, let's discuss whether or not we want to continue this into February, and if we do, fix the meeting links, right? We didn't put a bookend on the other side of it. So the link, the scheduled Zooms expired. So that says to me, great, here's an opportunity for a new system, for a better system. And you need systems to track stuff like this because you can't keep it all in your head. You just can't. I mean, there's just too much. There's too much. So you need to put reminders in your calendar. You need to set up systems with your team so things get double checked, so that you remember to circle back on things, so that somebody else proofreads things for the date and the time and the phone number. We've got something big happening soon, and you know, I had asked if everything was completed and double checked, and I was assured that it was, and then I went and looked at it and it said Tuesday instead of Monday. Like, you gotta keep looking. So you've got to keep checking and double checking. You've got to keep questioning, what is the source of the error? Like, is it avoidable? Is it systems? Is it being too scattered? Do I not care? Like, what's underneath the error? And And what's the opportunity inside the error? Is it an opportunity for forgiveness? Is it an opportunity to connect more deeply, more honestly with people? Is it an opportunity to do something completely different? I mean, I've had that happen in pieces where, you think you're creating something, and then all of a sudden, the cat spills the tea or something, your hand gets knocked, and all of a sudden you've got some big thing that you never thought you had. And like, well, how do I incorporate that? Like, if there are no mistakes, art, right? If there are no mistakes in art, what does that mean for you? If you can't do it wrong, and everything that happens is somehow right, what would that mean for you? If it is in some way, not in all ways, but in some ways perfectly correct that the links went out totally wrong, what would that mean? I'm noticing those of you who were like extra dedicated and, emailed or checked the email in the last second to get the proper link. What's the opportunity? What's the lesson? What's the knowing? And what's the brokenness? There are times that the mistakes just make me want to go, forget it. Forget it, it's too hard, I can't do it. It's too many people expecting too much. I'm letting everybody down, I'm not doing anything well. I'm tired inside, forget it. I got an email from somebody the other day, it was like, I keep trying to, it was feeling like she didn't want to write, like she was feeling discouraged and like, I suck and I don't want to do this and it's never going to work. And I'm like, that's fine. Being a writer doesn't mean that you feel like writing all the time. And more than once, I have taken a piece of paper and made myself a sign that says, I quit. And I have taped it to my computer and left the building. Like, sometimes you have to quit for the day or for the week or for the month. Just say, forget it, I'm done. I'm done, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't care about it. It's over, forget it. And I find these times very restful. Like it's so rare for me to get mad. Like I actually get mad. Like, screw it, fuck it, I quit. And then I spend all day just being like, yeah, that's right, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I just quit. And I usually can't go very long before I'm like, no, I'm really gonna quit. But it's nice to give myself the sort of mental break of dreaming about quitting and the release that comes from that, the break in the tension that just says, screw it. So that's what I'm thinking about this morning. What are you guys thinking about? Anybody have anything they want to share in the chat? You can just go ahead and type in. I'm going to look on the Facebook quick. Okay, I'm not seeing comments, so it looks like we're okay. I'm going to check the email again too, just in case there are people who are trying to reach us. Good, okay. Looks like somebody sent in a prayer. Okay, so she says, I'm in a super rough financial patch, not finding a job after a year and a half in San Diego. Overqualified, and jobs are just not the same as in Los Angeles. Mindset is all over the place. 10 deep breaths. I know I have greatness inside me. I meant to make my business ideas work, and that's what my heart says. I don't know how to make money through them, but I do know they interest me. My prayer is to find that self-confidence again after losing a job 7 years ago, and to work through the mind games and start somewhere. Thanks for always being an inspiration. I appreciate you. Yeah, so that's super frustrating. And it's kind of where we started. If you go back, once we get this recording posted somewhere, you can go back. The start of this prayer was around, those who are struggling with a day job, but really want to bring their creative work into the world. And, you know, there's a lot of schools of thought around this. There are a lot of teachers and coaches that I love and respect who would say, don't put the financial pressure on your creative work. You know, get a day job that engages some of your other skills, right? Some of the other things that you love to do that you're great at. And whether that's just being with people or, you know, working in hospitality or working with children or working outdoors or working in nature or detail work. You know, I can get really into like detailed admin stuff sometimes. You know, so what are the, you know, what are the day jobs that you can find that are not something to fall back on, there's something to pull you forward, right? So like, so that you have a day job that nourishes you, and then you can work on your creative work in its own time. And I see the wisdom in that. The one thing I would not do, or I wouldn't do again because I did do it in actual life, is take a job that I don't care about with that idea of like, oh, it's better for me to have, you know, some crappy job that I don't care about because then my mind will be free to work. But that's not true. When you spend 8 hours a day at a crappy job you don't care about, you're exhausted and pissed off and depleted, and there's nothing left at the end of the day. There's just nothing left. So, and you got to be careful because the things you spend 8 hours a day at, you get good at. You don't want to get good at a shitty job you hate. So if you're going to spend 8 hours a day doing something other than your own creative work, make sure it's something that you want to get good at, something that you love, something that brings your light and your spirit to the world. And, you know, overqualified, underqualified, job markets, you know, the unlikeliest things happen all the time. And it's not really a numbers game because it's like finding the perfect partner or spouse. You're only looking for one, right? So, and people hire people. They don't hire resumes. They don't hire technical skills. I mean, you want to have those things, but really find this is just totally falls into the category of free advice, which you may just want to throw out. I would totally applaud you for that. But, you know, if I were looking for a day job, I would find the companies and businesses and people that I just really love. That I love the way they do business. I love the look of them. I love the feel of what they do. I like the people who work there. That's where I would start. Because when you sort of vibe with people, it's probably because you share a value system. And when you share a value system, that's a really good foundation. So even if the work is not, you know, your soul's highest calling, you're still going to care about it and do well. So that's my thought for you around job hunting. The other school of thought says, you know, and the thing I did was I stopped. Well, I didn't totally stop, but the whole reason the organized artist company started was because I got laid off from, it wasn't a crappy day job. It was actually a pretty good day job, but they laid off like 2/3 of the people working there, including me. And I was like, oh God, I gotta get another gig. And then I thought, oh, I wonder if I could do the organized artist company full time. And my next thought was, should I order business cards? Like, I knew nothing. I didn't know anything about anything. But once I made that decision, once I made that commitment, I worked really hard and really fast. And I taught myself about business and entrepreneurship as quick as I could. And for me, having that financial pressure of knowing that if I didn't make the money, there wasn't going to be any money, that really worked for me. And it continues to work for me. Like, there are plenty of times where I'm like, oh, you know, I've got a $15,000 American Express bill and I got to figure out how to pay it this week. Where's $15,000? It must be here somewhere. There must be a way for me to bring it in somehow. And then once I start looking for it, I usually find it. So I'm one of those people who performs well under financial pressure. So if you're feeling a calling to get your creative work out there, and you know you're the kind of person who performs well under financial pressure, you know, then you may just want to go for it. And just make sure you're pricing your stuff high enough so that it can support you. Because that's the main mistake entrepreneurs make, is they don't charge enough, and then they're working all the time and they're not making enough. So let's see what's in the chat. Lynn says, I had a major glitch when I accidentally deleted 6 hours of work. Could have given up, didn't redid the work in the manuscript in the mail on time. Good for you, Lynn. Good for you. Yeah, those tests, I think of them as like the labors of Hercules, right? Like, this is really what separates the women from the girls, is when 6 hours of work disappears, the links are all bad, the team quits, you know, and you do it anyway. I remember talking to a friend of mine at church. She had we sang in the choir together, and she had a solo, and as we were walking up into the choir loft, you know, we had just rehearsed, and I said, you know, wow, that solo sounds so great. And Cooper's here. And she looks at me really exasperated, and she's like, yeah, well, but that was my only rehearsal. I didn't really know this piece. I can't believe we're doing this. You know, I can't believe I'm in this position. And I was like, honey, that's why we're the pros. We can, like, anybody can do it when it's easy and you've got a ton of rehearsal and everybody's really supporting you and you feel really great. Like, anybody can pull off a performance under those circumstances. The thing that makes you a professional is that you keep going when 6 hours of work has been deleted, when it's raining and you're exhausted and your co-star has bad breath and the person just said something mean to you and your shoes don't fit and turns out it's all the way on the other side of the town and you don't have the right, like, that's all that stuff is exactly the gig. That's exactly the gig. You know, we don't get into the creative life so that everything gets executed perfectly. We go in, we're the pros because we can execute even when things are going imperfectly, even when things go completely imperfectly. And in some ways we thrive on that energy and the energy of instability, the energy of not knowing, the energy of, like, just make it work. That single-minded focus of, like, just make it work. I'm not even going to think about how brokenhearted I am that 6 hours of work just went away. I just heard a story about a woman who got her laptop stolen and hadn't backed up in 2.5 years. Back up, always back up. But we keep going. And that's how you know. You know, when people are like, oh, how do I know if I'm good enough? How do I know if this is really what I'm supposed to be? It's like, it's the same way you know if you're in the right marriage. Like, if you keep waking up in the relationship every day, that's kind of your big sign. You know, if you keep showing up, this idea keeps showing up for you. If you keep showing up and doing it, even when everyone else thinks you're insane, even when you don't want to, even when it's not going well, that's how you know. You know because you're doing it, because you can't not do it. That's how you know. And when you let yourself get into that nonstop argument in your head where you're like, oh, I want to do it, but it doesn't make sense to do it. Oh, but I want to do it, but nobody will think it's right. Well, I want to do it, but maybe this isn't the right time. Like, that spin, that's what's making you crazy. That's what's making you feel like a failure. That's what's making you feel like you're procrastinating and lazy. You're not. You just aren't letting yourself get past the first gate. You know, if you have the idea more than 3 times, just do it. Just start. Find a way to start. You see what happens. Maybe it is a stupid idea. You'll know soon enough. But staying in this, oh, I want to, but I can't. Oh, but I want to, but I can't. Oh, but I want to, but I can't. Oh, but I want to, but I can't. The mind is so good at finding what it's looking for. All it's going to do is start finding other things that you want to do and can't do. I want to go on that trip and I can't. I want to date that person and I can't. I want to lose this weight and I can't. I want to have a cleaner house and I can't. Like, you'll just keep doing it. We're pattern-seeking monkeys. You'll just find more ways to be that way. But you open up to, I can, I will, I am, I trust. The money is here. There's no shortage of money. Have you noticed this? There is no shortage of money. It may not be in your wallet right now. It may not be in my wallet right now, but it's out there. And it's not that hard to get. I remember when we first moved to Los Angeles, my first husband and I and his brother, my then brother-in-law, John came to visit us from Ohio. He'd never been to LA. They'd grown up in Canton, Ohio. And we took him on a little driving tour of LA, which is kind of the only way to see LA. And we were living in the valley, so we come over the hill and we show him Beverly Hills, and we're driving around Beverly Hills. And he was gobsmacked. He could not get over the fact that there were this many mansions in anywhere, much less in one neighborhood. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that these weren't actually the real mansions. These were sort of the small, cheap mansions that are on the street. And that the real mansions are the estancias out in Calabasas and Hidden Hills and Westlake Village and stuff, but, Palisades. But, you look at some of those mansions and you're like, wow, okay, so not only is it, whatever it is, $9 million for the house, but then there's gardeners and housekeepers and furnishings and interior decorators to find the furnishings and art and people who painted the art and team members and clothing and new clothing and trips and people who work in hospitality who get the family and the money that come through. We're sort of taught to hate rich people, but I'm like, I would not be so quick to hate rich people. First of all, I would like to become one pretty soon, but also because there is a fountain of money that comes out that spreads around. The money gets into flow, right? So we never want to be shallow. It's never just about the money. But the work that money can do is beautiful. So, and now I'm on a little thing in my head about how people sometimes don't want to, oh, this is my creative work. I don't want uncomfortable tying money to it. But in fact, the things that you are gifted to do, the things that you are so talented at, that's what you can charge the most for, because no one else can do it like you can. And it feels really great. It feels really great to offer up something that only you can do and be really well recompensed for it. And there are people who will pay. They may not be in your neighborhood. They may not be in your circle of friends. In fact, they're probably not. But they're out there. They're out there and they're spending money like crazy. And they want to spend money with you. You just haven't let them know that you've got anything for sale. You haven't showed them how to buy it yet. So yeah, if you have a desire to make your creative work your full-time gig, then, like I said, I know there's a lot of teachers who say, don't put the financial pressure on your creative work, get a job you like and just, give it its own time so you don't have to rush, or you can just create in the space of creation. And I see the wisdom in that, but that's not how I did it. And that's not how I work best. I actually do better when there's some financial pressure and when I know it's a real thing and I know other people are waiting on it. Keiko raised her hand. Let me unmute you. Hi, Keiko.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. How's it going?
Yay, good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Yay. Do you want me to to start my video? I see I can do that.
Sure, whatever you like.
Okay. Oh, except for no one can see my face.
There you are.
I don't know where to look.
There, look there. Look into the camera.
Okay. So what you were talking about is kind of, I'm teaching another one of those calligraphy classes on Sunday.
Great.
And I want to offer them something to work with me more. So since we don't have that many people,
yeah.
I thought maybe you could help me figure out what to offer.
Yeah, so what's the next logical step once they've done this calligraphy thing? And so they've calligraphied a poem, right?
Right. Or, whatever. Some people, it depends, right? They can do whatever they want.
Okay. So what are they going to be hungry for next? Or what's the question they have at the end? Is it just, when can I do this again? This was really fun. When can I do this again?
Maybe some of them. I think there's different people, right? So there's what And actually, I think the people who are going to come this time are more on the writer side
Mm.
of, right, because I have lots of writer
Mhm.
friends and colleagues. So, and I know a couple of them are kind of interested in working with me, like to become more professional, like you were saying, about their writing and,
Mhm.
you know, write every day and get their work out there and like that.
Well, you might just want, I mean, do you want to offer private coaching? Do you want to offer like private accountability and like get your writing shit together with Keiko? You know, $500 a month, 2 calls a month, unlimited email access, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and maybe there's a, you know, maybe you do this clear everything like on the first Sunday of every month, and so they can come to those for free, and
Uh-huh.
you know, just something really simple and straightforward. So it's, you know, $500 a month, or if they want to book for 3 months or 6 months at a time, which I would recommend because really there's only so much you can do with somebody in 4 weeks. You know, so offer it as a 3-month package for, you know, $1,500, and if they pay in full, it's $1,350 or something. You know, they get 10% off if they pay in full, or 20% off, something like that.
So, you know, what I've kind of always wanted to do is to have a group, a live, like people get together and teach them stuff. So that's something that, you know, I'll like, right, like my brain plans it.
Then
you know,
do
so like, oh yeah, at my thing that I don't actually do, I can, you know, teach them juggling and right.
Yeah, no, and you and I talked about this before. I think that would be great. I think if you just set the time and the space, you just say like, okay, so, you know, every Sunday at 4, or every, you know, we're gonna meet here, and it's a creativity workout. Sometimes it'll be writing, and sometimes it'll be calligraphy, and sometimes it'll be business, more entrepreneurial stuff, and sometimes it'll be singing or physical stuff, and you can bring in guest people. Like, I would absolutely do that. And I would do it like a membership. I would say, you know, so it's whatever it is. It's $200 a month. You can come to all 4, you can come to 1, you can come to none, whatever, but you're getting charged $200 no matter what. And you can even incentivize it. You know, it's $200 a month, and for everyone you come to, I give you $10 back. You actually come to all 4, it's only $160.
Right. That's a good idea. I like that.
Isn't that good? I've wanted to do that for years. Really I've wanted to do that for years. Northwestern wanted me to do a free thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it for free. But it was a 3-session thing. I was like, I'll do it for free, but you got to charge them $150. And for everyone they come to, I'll give them $50 back. And everything that's left over, we put in the alumni fund, because I've had it with this free shit.
Yeah, I remember that story where people would stop showing up.
Right? They, oh, I'm busy. Yeah. You're not busier than me, I guarantee. It's not harder for you to get here than it is for me. So does that help?
That does help. Okay. Yeah, I think I might start off with the private thing, because I don't really have a venue. Although I'm doing it at a restaurant. They have a, you know, a banquet room. So maybe they'd let me.
Yeah, give them a call. Talk to them about it. I mean, if nothing, you'll see if they'll do it for the next couple of weeks, and just, you know, say, I'm going to try this as an experiment.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Sam.
You bet. Good job. Well done. Good. Okay. And Deborah says, I love the energy of I quit. Yeah, it's very freeing, because being a self-employed artist can feel exhausting. So much juggling, and sometimes a feeling of being so alone. There's a freedom in feeling that I can walk away and take off some of the responsibility. Yeah, exactly. And, you know, the whole benefit to being self-employed is that you can, like, have time freedom. I was just talking to a friend of mine who just quit. He'd worked at a corporation for almost 10 years, and he just started working for himself, and he's like, this is fantastic. Like, this is the best week I've ever had. Like, I know, it's pretty great, right? He's like, I think I'm actually working more hours. Like, I think I'm actually working harder and working longer hours, but I don't care. I'm like, right. Because first of all, you know, you have the time freedom to do it, right? You know, if you want to take a nap in the middle of the day, or you want to work until 3 a.m, or you want to, you know, go to your kid's soccer game in the afternoon and then work after they go to bed, or whatever, you can. But also you're working on stuff you care about. And that's really, that's where your guys' heart is. It's very challenging for you to do stuff you don't care about, but you're very great when you're doing stuff you do care about. So make sure whatever you're doing is aligned with what you care about. It doesn't have to be exactly spot on perfect, but it should be aligned so that the energy can flow because it's aligned. All right. Well, despite a very bumpy beginning, I think this has been a beautiful time together. If anybody has anything else, you can put it in the chat right now. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and pray us out. Yeah, so there seems to be a fair amount of energy around this money, entrepreneurship, working thing. So I'll just, I'll pray some more about that. How about that? All right, you ready? Let's breathe again. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Creator, Mother, Father, God, we stand in your light. We stand in the light of success. We stand in the light of the creative glow of the world. We stand in the light of inspiration. We stand in the light of achievement. We stand in the light of our dreams that guide our way. We stand in the light of truth because we know that all things are possible right now. We know that all things are possible right now because there is no other time than right now. So we can relax. We can relax about the past. We can relax about the future and focus instead on the opportunities, the achievements, the dreams that are present for us right now. What can our hands and feet touch? What people are in front of us right now? Who can we reach right now? What can we do right now? What inspiration is in our heart right now? And if the inspiration is to say, I quit, then quit and rejoice in the quitting, knowing that you can never really quit. Disconnect from the things that deplete your energy. Give those people back their energy. Restore yourself unto yourself so that you can bring your whole self through your whole day, sharing the light and the truth of who you are. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunities that are so plentiful. Thank you for the money that flows so effortlessly into our lives and out of our lives, nourishing us, giving us a sustainable life, and allowing us to help others. We love water because it flows. We love money because it flows. We love breath because it flows. We love love because it flows. Let us be a conduit for flow. Let us open ourselves up to your flow. Let us get our petty, judging minds out of the way and be a participant in the giant creative flow of the world. We thank you for this moment, this opportunity, this flow. We thank you for our inspiration and our hands and voices that execute the inspiration. We thank you for the people in front of us who show us the way, and sometimes the way out. We thank you for the light and for the darkness and for the energy and for the fatigue, for the knowing and the not knowing, for the certainty and the uncertainty. We balance in a world of contradictions because we know there is only one truth. There is only one light. There is only one right now. In joyful celebration of this day, this moment, this creative spirit, the souls that are joined in the circle, those who are here and those who are not, we say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.